Oh, okay. After a very, very convincing match from Chum in the first one, Chum took on Weevil, and his deck is actually not bad. Works well. Now we've got Jaden taking on String. So Jaden is going to go from worst duelist to best duelist, like Becca did. So he'll start with Strings, then it will be Loomis and Umbra, and then whoever's 14th. All the way up until he gets to second place Mako, first place Arcana. So will we see a Jaden series that rivals how good Rebecca's was? Rebecca went 15-1 technically, because Arcana had to spoil the fun, but damn, it was a good match. Absolute gold. And they got to have a rematch sometime. Now, Jaden, I do want to do Jaden takes on Rebecca at some stage. It's just that on one of the switches, I have all of the Battle City decks and all of the Duelist Kingdom decks, and they take up all 32 slots. The other switch is where I'm making these other decks to take on those, but eventually we'll run out of Duelist Kingdom mini-series to do, and there'll be no need for me to keep those decks on the second switch. It's a Cameron-named switch, and that's when we can have Jaden and Becca. It will happen at some stage. It will happen. Alright, so Spark Blaster, that's been added to Jaden's deck. I didn't have that for his Duelist Kingdom one. And there we go, Elemental Hero Prisma. Now that can copy an Elemental Hero name, can't it? So that could be Sparkman, and then Jaden should be able to put Spark Blaster onto Prisman. What does it do? During your main phase, in target one face-up monster, change the battle position of that target. After you use this card 3 times, it is destroyed. And throws down Swing of Memories as well. And that will bring Sparkman back. So Strings, who started off with Behegan and went in for an attack, is about to get absolutely thumped. There's another 350 off. 15 and 16 is 3,100. 654. So Strings will be down to 4,300 life points after turn 3. So Strings, as per usual, is off to a brilliant start. And it looks like he is going to get smashed yet again. Alright, turn change back to Stringsy. And what's Stringsy got on this turn? So Jaden's deck is mostly the same. I think I added in a couple new elemental heroes. Not a hell of a lot more, just a few of them. And some new fusion ones. You can only have up to 15 in your fusion deck. I didn't think there was a limit. I thought you could have as many as you wanted, but I know that rule was changed, because back in the day you could have as many cards as you want in your deck. However, during a Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championships with like physical cards, someone brought in a deck that was, I kid you not, like 3,000 cards. He actually had to get like 2 people in a big like plastic cylinder to help him carry this deck. That's when they implemented the 60 card rule, so someone else couldn't troll them. And damn, there we see. Yeah, some of the new elemental heroes. Some of them might be a bit later in the series. I'm not 100% sure, but I've added them in just so we can have some fun. I'm pretty sure Jaden used every elemental hero at some stage. I know that was one of them. Elemental hero Wildheart. Wait, that's not Wildheart. That's Wild Wingman, I think that's called. Alright, there's Polymerization. What happened to Spark Blaster? Oh, no, Prisma's name change thing, I think that only lasts 1 turn. So when its name changed off of Elemental Hero Sparkman, it probably destroyed Spark Blaster. It didn't stay equipped to him. Elemental Hero Wild Wingman. Oh, okay, good play. Sparkman gets rid of... I don't know if it was really that necessary to get rid of that Nightmare Steel Cage. Oh, then again, Strings does have Slifer the Sky Dragon stalking around. And there's some pretty strong elemental hero fusions in that deck of Jaden's. Jaden has 3 polymerization and he has 1 copy of Fusion Gate. I didn't give him multiple copies of Fusion Gate, but 3 polymerizations and a Fusion Gate. So he's got plenty of ways to fuse these monsters together. There's elemental hero Voltic. And he flips up Winged Karibo. I couldn't take Winged Karibo out of Jaden's deck. I just couldn't. It's his boy. Like, you know, they're bros. They go all the way back to the start, those two, when Yugi gave it to him. So, Winged Karibo stays. I just wish it was on the bottom of Jaden's deck at the start of every match, because 300 attack points. Strings is down to 4,000 life points. Jaden at 8,000. He's sitting quite comfortably. I doubt he's going to lose to Strings, but then again, you never know. Strings did beat Mai in an absolute stunning fashion. There's Wormdrake. If Strings managed to fuse Wormdrake and Humanoid Slime, he'd have a 2200 and would actually be winning in terms of monster attack points, but... there's one of the new ones. Elemental Hero Captain Gold. You can discard this card to the graveyard to add 1 Skyscraper from the deck to your hand. If Skyscraper is not face up on the field, destroy this card. Ugh. It's not the best effect, but it does get Skyscraper. An easy way for Jaden to get Skyscraper. He's only got 1 copy of Skyscraper in his deck. It's a good card. Skyscraper. Down goes 500 more life points for Strings. And Winged Karibo, that is still on the field, goes in for 300 more attack points, putting Strings down to 3,200. And turn change back to old Strings, who now has 4 cards in hand and throws down Beast King of the Swamps. And oh, there's a D-spell. Strings looks like he doesn't have polymerization, unfortunately. Otherwise, he could have made the humanoid Wormdrake and could actually be doing some damage to Jaden. However, Winged Karibo. Winged Karibo was destroyed. Speak of polymerization. Infinite cards isn't really that much of a bother. Historic day tomorrow. It's Monday here in Australia right now, but tomorrow will be Tuesday. And when roughly 9, 10, 11 a.m. hits, I don't know exactly what time, but WWE Raw will start on Netflix. I have to go to the dentist tomorrow as well, so blah. I had a chunk of my back tooth is snapped off. My good teeth health doesn't run in my family. I'm actually surprised I've still got them. Pretty much my mum, all of my grandparents, except for one that I know of, on like all sets of grandparents that I knew, all of them had false teeth. My mum's teeth fell out. My granddad and his mum, their teeth fell out. My nan's teeth were false. The only main family member that I know of that has kept their teeth for their whole life was my granddad, my other granddad. He still had his own teeth till the day he died at age 92. He still had his original teeth, and yet everyone else in the family, there's fallout like they're made out of paper. All right, Jaden has drawn Monster Reborn. And what's he going to go for here? He's gone for Sparkman. Again, this is the 3rd time or 2nd time that Sparkman's come back. Down goes Polymerization. That's one of the new ones. There's, what's that? Elemental Hero Core, which is 3 Elemental Heroes. And there's also Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, which looks like that's the one that's been picked. Though Strings is likely going to lose this turn. What's the effect of Elemental Hero Absolute Zero? Gains 500 attack for each water monster on the field, except Elemental Heroes. If this card leaves the field, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Jesus. Okay, it's like a Raigeki. And it just says if it leaves the field. It doesn't have to be destroyed by battle or anything. It's just if it leaves the field, you get a free Raigeki. Like, bro, broken. Okay, setting up. Again, I did have to make a cut edit. Because it was left in the notes, the second duel, or the first attempt at a second duel that the guys played had that error come up where it says Nintendo Switch had a software error, and then just closes the game and has to... the duel was like 2 turns in. I mean, so it didn't really matter, but here we go. So take 2 of duel number 2. That Switch error, that leaves me paranoid every time, like, I'm watching these duels, because, like, I mean, the guys will leave me a note if there's anything that happens in the match, but that when we used to do it live, we would do it like I'd sort of be sitting off with the headset on, and then the other 2 guys would like sit at the table and I'd watch them sort of like live. We used to do it like that. We don't do it anymore because people's availability, it just got too much. So now they pre-record and then just chuck them all on a drive, and then sometime I'll collect the drive. I mean, and then we'll hang out for a day, but no, all of us getting together at one location to do everything live was just too much. But that's how it originally started, but there was a few times when we were doing it live like that where the Switch error did come up, and I mean, the temptation to boot the Switch onto the highway across from my house is very, very high, but I don't know why it does it. It just says a communication error between the switches or something. As Elemental Hero Thunder Giant is coming to the field, 2400. It's a big problem with the Nintendo Switch in general, not just for this game, but for a few of them. It's like the Switch's processor just isn't quite strong enough to keep up sometimes, which would explain why games like GTA 5 haven't ever come to Nintendo Switch. I don't think the Nintendo Switch would handle it. But I have had commenters before who have said they've experienced similar things with the Nintendo Switch, that it's not the most reliable console out there in terms of its errors and stuff. But I mean, overall, I actually really do like the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch 2's coming. Maybe they can fix it. Maybe they can. Maybe the Nintendo Switch 2 will be a much updated Nintendo Switch. Will be more powerful and less errors. As Strings is down to 5600. There goes Sparkman. Again, who was brought back with Swing of Memories. We'll never forget you, Sparkman. As long as that swing sways back and forth in the wind. Dude, that Swing of Memories card, that is such a haunting looking card. I know I've said that before, and oh, there's Spark Blaster. Dang. Oh, okay, there's Jam Defender. And Righteous Justice. Ooh. I don't know about that. Maybe could have waited for a better card to be on the field before using it, but it doesn't matter. What is it? It is Revival Jam. Okay, so Strings had them both down. Revival Jam. Strings pays 1,000 life points. He'll get Revival Jam back, but... Alrighty, and there it is. Revival Jam is back. So, would Jaden have been able to beat Battle City? The answer, he won't win every match. I know that for a fact. He will not win every match. Because of the way his deck is, if he draws a hand where he can't fuse anything for like 3 or 4 turns, there are duelists that will jump him like pretty easily. Bakura is one of them. He could play some really nasty tricks on Jaden. Arcana, we all know how good Arcana's been. Even Kyber, if he draws strong hands, they could all they could all get the jump, but we will see as Revival Jam comes back to the field. So there's 16 duels in the series, so they go for 3 weeks and 1 day since I upload on weekdays. And then straight after that, in the next one, I reckon we'll do a Cyrus or an Alexis take on Duelist Kingdom. And I mean, the Battle City season only has like 3 or so weeks left as well, so we'll have to think of a new season. I'm wondering on how to actually go about that, because it's quite hard to make a 16-player season in GX because they all come in at different arcs, like the players who would compete in it. It's also a tough one to come up with a season for Alistair and the Silveri Kalkos, because there's not enough players to really make a 16-player... Oh, there would be. I'll find a way, but I think I'll do Seal of Orichalcos and the Big Five, along with like Yugi, Kaiba, Joey. Well, let's see. The Big Five. Then you've got Darts, Valon, Raphael, Alistair. Were there any others? I don't remember. I've counted 9. And then if we throw in Mai, that's 10. Yugi, Joey, Kaiba, that's 13. And we just need 3 more, and that'll make a 16-player season. That's how I'm thinking about proceeding from there. So as we see, Jaden has easily done strings in. So some thought into it, but that's kind of what I'm thinking for the next season. Big Five, Silveri Kalkos, and main characters together to conjure up a 16-player season. And then we can do mini-series, as those decks will already be created for the Orichalcos duelists can take on some GX characters, etc., etc. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We had a good opening match for Jaden, who has easily disposed of strings, even though strings, well, we all love strings in some way. Love his big bald head. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. Take care. Farewell.